Hello again, Charlotte. It's schnitzel time. Well, not real schnitzels, but Grandma's version of schnitzels. So I thought I'd make this video and show you how I make them. Grandma's version. Now, real Wiener Schnitzel is supposed to be veal and breadcrumbs and egg and flour and all that. And schnitzel is supposed to be the same thing as a Wiener Schnitzel, only you use pork. Well, I'm making I guess an American version of a pork cutlet. A pork fried steak or chicken fried steak, but with pork. Depends on who makes it on what they call it. I'm going to call it a schnitzel because that's what Grandma called it. So, now, Charlotte, Grandma used to take pork chops and she would pound them out, which that's how you make regular schnitzels. But she didn't use the breadcrumbs, she just used flour. Now I'm going to use these thin chops, but I also want them to be a little bit textured. They're thin enough, but I want them to be textured. So I'm going to take this knife and I'm just going to kind of roughen them up a little bit. Now I think this makes the flour and the egg and all that stuff stick better. So here we go. And when I get done with all of these, I'm making all of these at one time because to me it's so much trouble with the egg and the flour and all that. It's better if you just make a whole bunch at one time. So I'm making all of these, and once I get them all pounded, I'll be back. Okay, here's all the pork chops now. Pork cutlets. They're roughened up a little bit. See, I didn't have to pound them out. I just wanted to roughen up the surface. Now here's my egg wash. I have 4 eggs and my milk. Gonna mix. Oops, let me mix this up first. And here I have flour, paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, and I thought I'd try a little seasoning salt in there. And I'm going to mix that up. Okay, and then here's my egg and milk mixture. I'm making a mess. Okay, and I'm going to do the standard dip. I take the pork chop and dip it in the flour, shake off the excess, stick it in the egg, stick it back in the flour, and then onto the plate. Okay, here we go with another one. Just take it, dip it in the flour, shake off the excess. You want to make sure you get, what you're doing there is you're making it dry so that the egg mixture sets for some reason the 2 coats seems to work better. Dip it in the egg, let the excess drip off, back in the flour. Let the excess drip off, or drop off, and there you go. So I'm going to go ahead and get all of these done. At least I'll get one level done, and then I'll put them in the grease, and then I'll be back. Okay, we're getting ready to put the schnitzels on to fry. If you remember my other video, I seasoned this big cast iron frying pan, this big 15-inch frying pan. Well, I didn't clean it right, so as you can see, just a second, let me turn the light on here. As you can see, I lost some of the seasoning. So, I'm going to use this to help re-season it. So, let me pour the oil in it. Now, I'm using lard, and lard is probably the best thing to season a cast iron frying pan. Now here's all the schnitzels. In my humble opinion, I think if they set in the flour for a little bit before you put them in, I think it makes them taste better. So as soon as this oil comes up to heat, and we can try it with a little piece here. See, it's not quite hot enough yet. As soon as this oil comes up to heat, we'll put the schnitzels in. Now, you don't want to, well, some restaurants deep fry their schnitzels. That is the fastest, easiest way to do it. Same with a chicken fried steak. You can deep fry it. But I'm going to just, I got about an inch or two of oil in there, about an inch of oil in there, and I'm just going to fry them the traditional way. So I'll be back. Okay, I think the oil is hot enough. The bad thing about this big frying pan is it sure is hard to heat it all over. Just a second, I think I'm going to put on both burners again. I got it over both burners. I think the grease is hot enough. I'm going to go ahead and put these in there. What you do is you just take that extra flour off and put them in. This is another reason why I said that when I make these, I like to make a whole bunch at one time. They keep real good in the fridge and snack on them all day long. Heat them up. And there's so much mess, it's just better to do it all at one time. Looks like I'm going to get another batch out of these. Move them around a little bit, get some flour on them. Yeah. Got another little one in here. I don't think so. So, there they are, they're cooking, and a little side note, that egg and milk that was left over, of course, don't reuse that, not with the pork. I went ahead and heated it up in the microwave to just cook it. You're not supposed to give dogs raw eggs. Oh, I cooked it in the microwave just enough to say it's cooked. And now I'm going to give this to Jimmy and Peaches, and I bet they'll love it. Yeah, Jimmy likes it, and you know that if Jimmy wasn't eating it, Peaches would be eating it, but he's a bigger dog, so he gets more. Now we'll check them, see if they need to be turned over. So let's see what they look like. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Now that one could have waited. These are so thin. I don't really have to get... Okay, we got to be quick about this. The batteries are about to run out again. There's my second batch. Here's my first batch. And here's one of the ones I cut for Ernie. Ernie, take the fork. See how nice and juicy that looks? Nice and crunchy. Okay, and Ernie's going to do a taste test. So what do you think? Nice? Yeah. Easy peasy, Charlotte, lemon squeezy. Schnitzels the way Grandma used to do them. And if I've got any time left on these batteries, I'll come back and show you the second batch. But there you go. Second batch is done. There you go. They sure do look good. And I tasted that one. It sure does taste good. So there's how Grandma made her schnitzels, pork cutlet, Wiener Schnitzel, whatever you want to call it. It's really just a chicken fried pork steak. So, thought you'd like to see it, Charlotte. There's that big old frying pan. I got to put that back there. Jimmy has turned into a counter surfer. Now, he won't go through the trash, but if something's laying on top of the trash or on top of the stove or in his reach, he'll get it, and he's a big dog, he can reach it. So I've got to keep it back there to keep it away from him, and here in a minute I'm going to put it in the oven so he really can't reach it. So, easy peasy lemon squeezy, Charlotte. Try this one, see what you think. When I pour the grease out of this pan, I'm going to be a lot more careful so I don't have to re-season it.